Rebecca Thomas, thanks so much for chatting with us. For those who haven't read the book yet, can you tell us what your new children's book, Sem's Map, is about?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Walalin, thank you for having me. Sem's Map is about a young boy named Sem, or Semisal, who is really confused. He's in class and he's looking at a map that the teachers put up for his geography class, and none of the place names are right. And he thinks that the lines that are drawn are strange because they're not there in real life, and they don't tell you anything about the land. So he kind of raises his hand and he says to his teacher that his map is wrong, and his classmates start to kind of chuckle and laugh at him, and he's even more confused. And it's about kind of Sem standing up for what he knows about the land and the stories that he learned from his Gaju, and trying to share that knowledge with other people.
Thank you for that. That's so interesting. I read that part of the idea for this book came from you connecting with the land while you were out fishing and gathering. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up off reserve. My dad went to the Shubenacadie residential school and was kind of like never really went back home. And so with that disconnect came a lot of disconnect from, culture and experience. And when I was a little bit older, I started connecting with friends who grew up doing stuff on the land, and they brought me along with them. So I learned about like place names and like what they meant. And so here in Mi'kma'ki, we have Unama'ki, which is Land of the Fog, which is Cape Breton. And where I live is in Jabuktuk, Halifax, Great Harbor. But we would do gathering along like the Shubenacadie River or Sibeganegadi, where the wild potato grows. And you start to learn that there are place names that tell you about the land and what you find when you go there. And I grew up in Moncton, which is like drainage place, right? Which is all wetlands. And so I thought that was a really like wonderful thing that I started to relearn, that we as Mi'kmaq people understood the land for what was there and what it could teach you and what you could gather and learn from it. And I thought, like, what a great idea to kind of put that worldview into a kid's book.
I lived in Halifax for almost 2 years, so I remember the fog. I love it there. I actually miss the East Coast. You also got the talented Asby Whitecalf to illustrate your book, a Plains Cree artist from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Can you tell us what it was like working with them?
Yeah, well, I mean, Asby's so talented, and with all of my kids' books, one of the like really standard things that I ask for is to have an Indigenous illustrator. And so I, pour over Instagram and look for Indigenous illustrators in my publishing folks. They also have their list. And so then they brought forward Asby, and I thought their work was so beautiful. I loved like their colors and how they drew faces, and it was just so vibrant. I didn't get to do like a lot of like interpersonal like sit down and chat, but sending Asby like my thoughts and feelings about like what I think it should look like. And then they just transformed my words of like show generational knowledge, and I really want like this idea, and to see the work that they created was just incredible. So I'm not an illustrator. I'm not very good at drawing or visual arts. So I think just wholly trusting the illustrators to bring it to life, because they're the experts. So Asby was fabulous. Easy to work with, produced incredible work, and no notes. They were great.
That's beautiful. Rebecca, during this time of truth and reconciliation, do you think it's very important that students, including new Canadians, should learn more about the Indigenous perspective of this land?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, Canada as a country is like founded on treaty relationship with Indigenous peoples and the Crown, right? Like our understanding of like what the land is and how it keeps us alive. Like in Mi'kmaq, we have Nedugalimp, like this notion of like avoiding scarcity, so only using what you need, and like understanding how we want to make sure that this is here for the generations that come after us. Like, I think that's an incredibly important thing for both Canadians and new Canadians in this kind of world of like take, to see that maybe if we saw the land as like a part of us and we a part of the land, that maybe we could slow down that take and maybe be comfortable with like enough. Do you know what I mean?
Top way, yeah. No, I totally get where you're going. Finally, Rebecca, where can our viewers pick up your book or buy it for their loved ones for this Christmas?
Anywhere really that books are sold. You can look for some like local stuff. I know my publisher Nimbus, you can buy directly from them. I'm in like Chapters and on Amazon and stuff, but if you can get into like some of the local stores, Here on the East Coast, that's like Woozles and like some kid shops, but truly anywhere that books are sold. Yeah, and if you folks get my book, I'd be eternally grateful. Like you don't have to, but it's just like I just think it's really neat that these stories are getting out there, right? And the kids' books that I needed when I was a kid. So yeah, there you go.
I think we should all get out there and support our Indigenous authors. That's
Yes.
award-winning Mi'kmaq author Rebecca Thomas. Rebecca, thanks so much, and please come back on the show again anytime.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'll come whenever I'm invited.